los que dicen a lo malo bueno y a lo bueno malo.
There will come a time when the evil are called good and the good are called evil.
Y es lo que estamos viviendo ahora.
And that's exactly what we are living today.
Pero cuando el pueblo entero de los Estados Unidos se levante a luchar por sus derechos, ellos entenderán que lo bueno es bueno y lo malo es malo.
And when Americans finally stand up and fight for their rights, the evil will know that the good are good and the bad are bad.
God bless America.
All right. I think I got the better part of our deal. You know what I'm talking about. I did marry up. Hey, since I'm one of the organizers, I get to speak twice, and now that I've got the old lady off the stage, we can have some fun. I don't know if you people have heard, but Lou Ferrigno is supposed to be here tonight. Yeah, the Incredible Hulk. I remember when I was a kid watching that TV show, you know, the guy would be changing the tire and he hit his hands and those eyes would get white and he'd start ripping out his clothes, and I remember thinking, man, it would be cool to have a body to where I could rip my clothes out. But unfortunately, as an adult, it's really not that hard when you look like me, especially in the back of my pants. All right, listen, first of all, we've come a long way and we've had people from all over the country, but those that have really worked the hardest are the volunteers from right here in Arizona. And I want to thank all of the volunteers. Everybody give them a round of applause. The volunteers here have been working harder than John McCain trying to convince everybody he's a conservative. I know this is supposed to be nonpartisan, but I traveled a long way. All right, for a few minutes, I want to talk about something that is my pet peeve and something that gets me really going. It is something that is poison to our nation. It is something that is poison to common sense, and it is called political correctness. To start, I want to ask you, how many people here saw President Calderon addressing our Congress?
Immigration reform is also crucial to securing our common border. However, I strongly disagree with recently adopted law in Arizona. This law
Okay, thank you. I think we've seen enough of that. There are three things wrong with this picture here. First of all, if we had a real president, he would have kicked his butt out of Washington, D.C. Second of all, did you ever think you would live to see the day when you saw the Democrat Party give a standing ovation to a foreign leader of a corrupt company disparaging an American state? The Democrats should be ashamed of themselves if they had shame. But the third thing that's wrong with this picture here was the Republicans sat on their hands like the whipped dogs that they are. A curse on all of them. There are two things in this world that I don't care about, and both of them are what Presidente Calderon thinks about Arizona. All right, the mantra of the political correct in our country has become, love thy enemy, hate thy countrymen. We have an Attorney General in Eric Holder who cannot bring himself to call Muslim terrorism Muslim terrorism. We now have an overseas contingency or some silliness like that instead of a war on terror. We have one-man calamities instead of terrorists. It's absolute insanity. That's okay. You agree. And if you don't, sit still. But if you don't agree, then you shouldn't be here tonight. The reason that the politically correct are the way they are, they invent reasons not to tell the truth. For example, the The New York Times bomber. Well, it wasn't the fact that he was from Pakistan and trained for 5 months with known terrorists to blow up things. It was because his home was foreclosed on. Well, that makes sense. Well, what about the hundreds of thousands of the people in America that have had their homes foreclosed but haven't put bombs in Times Square? The Fort Hood shooter, perfect example. The military report that came out did not have the word Muslim, terrorism, or Islam in that. In fact, they invented new diseases to cover Muslim terrorism. It was the fact that this psychologist had picked up traumatic stress syndrome from interviewing our soldiers coming back from Iraq. Everyone in the world knows when a man stands on the table yelling Allahu Akbar as he shoots our soldiers, he's a Muslim terrorist. The PC, the politically correct in our country, will not call illegal aliens. They're undocumented immigrants. This is like calling the Mexican drug gangs unlicensed desert, what do I put here? That's good. Unlicensed desert pharmacists. How many have read the book Atlas Shrugged, which is my favorite? All right. If you remember in that book, John Galt, the hero, said A equals A, which sounds like a pretty simple equation. In today's parlance, it may mean it is what it is. But because of political correctness, A does not equal A. A equals B, C, D, E, or anything but the truth. For this reason, we have the politically correct in our society, and especially on the leftist side of the agenda, that will not call the terrorists who want to kill us even our enemy. It's ridiculous, and it will get us all killed. Now, interestingly enough, the people that are so worried about offending terrorists or illegal immigrants or whatever it may be, is they have no problem in calling us teabaggers, right-wing extremists, racists, and what have we done to deserve this? We've called for our government not to spend more money than it takes in. But we are the extremists, not the people who try to blow up airplanes. We have become, in this country, it's so upside down, we have become more concerned with not hurting the feelings of those breaking our laws than we are with keeping our laws. It's absolute insanity. Today, 30,000 or 10 or 15, whatever the number is, of illegal aliens march through the streets of Phoenix. That offends me. That offends me. They come into my country breaking the laws. No, I'm not a racist. I married a Hispanic. I'm fully fluent in Spanish, or pretty good for a gringo. But these people don't belong in our country, and they are taking advantage of our largesse and our generosity. And this nightmare is going to kill this country if we don't do something about it. Our federal government has failed America. It's failed the people of Arizona, and it's failed Americans. They mock us when we try to take care of ourselves because they refuse to do so. Remember that in November, people. Well, I'm saying this right now. I will no longer let the left use the weapon of political correctness against me. I will speak the truth. There is nothing wrong with telling the truth. I'm not concerned about hurting the feelings of people that shouldn't be here, that are here illegally, or people that are trying to kill us. I'm not concerned about their feelings. I'm concerned about Americans who live in this country. Woo! It's really simple. It boils down to this. Either follow the rule of law or not. Because it has nothing to do with race, it has nothing to do with skin color, it has nothing to do with any of that stuff that they throw on us to try to deflect the argument. It's about following the law. And that is what has made our country strong and great, is that we respect the law. Now, before I close, let me say one thing about the Tea Party movement, because I've been in it since the very beginning. The left fears the Tea Party. Because we are going to destroy their world. That Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Harry Reid, or any of the other leftists up there care about the plight of illegal immigrants. Don't think that they care about the health care of your family. There is only one thing they care about: power. against us, and in the past we have cowered in the corner like cowards. We will do that no longer. We will speak the truth, because to do so, we're going to have to step on a few toes to take this country back. I just want to say one thing, is that I love this movement. I love this country. I love this state that we're in right now, and I love the American patriots. I love the American taxpayer. I have nothing against anybody else from around from other parts of the world, but I'm an American. I'm not a citizen of the world. I'm a citizen of the United States.